Hello, everybody. My name is Thomas. I'm the head of EWS at EOS. We are a technology company based in Hamburg, and I am the head of the private cloud platform, which we operate for all our European operations. Today, I'm going to share a story about how our Huawei product has helped us accelerate business ideas and enable IT innovation at EOS. First, a quick overview of the EOS Group. We are a financial group based in Hamburg, Germany. We are present in 24 countries around the world, primarily in Europe. And in those countries where we don't have any presence, we have a lot of partners also, so we are basically available all over the globe. We have more than 6,000 employees. Most of them are based in Hamburg also. In Europe. What do? We offer a wide range of financial services. We do various forms of receivables management. We do debt collection. We buy non-performing loans. We help customers free up liquidity for their good-performing loans, for example. We are part of the Otto Group, which is also a Hamburg-based global retail platform. Over the years, we have built up a lot of knowledge, a lot of business data for successful use cases, a lot of metrics of what is working and what is not working for us. And we use all this data to build AI tools, so we can employ these tools for our customers and for ourselves to drive business or to improve our business application stack through data-driven decisions. All that data needs some infrastructure. I'm going to share a little story about our journey, or part of our journey. The short version is that we had a lot of growth at EOS, so we, as the IT, were struggling to keep up with the business requirements. So we had to think about what we can do differently. So we came up with a concept for an internal IT platform. And the Huawei core systems we use played a vital part of that success. We had two problems. First problem was performance and stability. Our infrastructure at that point were not able to keep up with the new demands. A lot of new projects has been started, and sometimes our infrastructure would simply get overwhelmed with too much load, too many I/O requests. On top of that, we also had two different SAN vendors, which added an additional layer of complexity, and this would reduce our transparency and would hinder us in our ability to understand where our root causes were. So it was generally not a good solution for our SAN system at that time. The second challenge we had was more in the area of people and processes. All that rapid growth has, of course, spawned increased demand for infrastructure products, mainly virtual servers. At that time, we had a request process which involved that teams and projects were required to raise a ticket whenever they wanted new infrastructure, and then they would wait for an expert to grab that ticket and do whatever was necessary to fulfill the request. Whenever humans are involved, they also make mistakes. So on top of the long waiting times, we also had some quality issues, and they were further increased by us having to firefight SAN problems, as I mentioned before on the earlier slide. So all in all, IT was not in a good place. We were being the bottleneck for many business projects. So something had to be done, of course. In all companies, the IT should work closely with the business to promote business ideas and create business value. And EOS is no exception to this. So with that in mind, we formulated this simple vision. It's pretty simple, but still important to put it on paper and speak it out loud. At EOS, All our services and all our products, they are defined and also implemented by IT. So by improving the IT performance, we could simultaneously also improve our business performance. So it was sort of a win-win. We wanted to create a platform where stakeholders, projects, and teams, they could consume IT services at their own pace, at their own time, and not having to wait for the slow ticket request system which we had. And we wanted to offer as much self-service as possible. The first decision we made was to increase the storage capacity of our Huawei storage systems, and also to remove our other SAN vendor. We chose to keep Huawei because we were pretty happy with the products at that time, and they were not causing any problems. Our problems, they were elsewhere. So we kept Huawei, and we got rid of the other SAN vendor, and this reduced complexity for us, and it also resulted in significant budget savings along the way. The second decision was to build an internal IT platform. At that time, we had some contractual obligations at EOS and also some financial regulations, which meant that we couldn't use public cloud services. So in order to give our stakeholders a similar experience, we decided to build our own private cloud on a smaller scale. This is a high-level overview of the EWS platform at the moment. These are the most important building blocks. All our services are consumable by REST APIs, and some also have a web UI to use, and we have written everything ourselves. At the heart of it all are our data storage systems from Huawei. For S3 storage, we use the Pacific solution, and for block storage, we use the Dorado solution from Huawei. These two systems contain all the critical data for us and our customers, so it's very important to us, of course, and it's very important that we keep this data safe at all times. The next slide zooms into the Dorado component in our architecture. All our data are mirrored in an active way between our two Hamburg data centers, and they can be consumed by our two main compute services, virtual servers, and our container solutions with Kubernetes. This architecture also ensures quick failover in case of any local failures, and it's probably an architecture which many of you know because it's pretty standard. Our platform has now been running for a few years. It's been handling almost all of the critical workloads at the EOS. It has matured over the years, especially in stability, but also in feature set. Gone are the days where we have to struggle with putting out fires every week. So now we can concentrate on improving the platform any further and offer better and more services for our stakeholders. These are a few screenshots of the services we offer. And naturally speaking, we can't keep up with the feature sets which we know from the public cloud providers. But what we can do is that we can build custom features which are tailored specifically to our stakeholders, so we can fulfill their requirements and their wishes. This is something where the public cloud providers can never do. So this is our EOS version of customer centricity. As mentioned earlier, we choose Huawei because of the technical quality and the high value proposition. What we discovered was that Huawei takes their slogan of customer-centric quite seriously. The people we have met so far at Huawei, they are extremely passionate about what they do. At one time, we had some serious issue in our SAN infrastructure, and we reached out to Huawei for help. And we quickly got in contact with the aftercare team, and they were able to help us solve the issue before it turned into a bigger issue. Later we learned that the Huawei employee who helped us went on his way in another direction, but he quickly rearranged his travel plans to turn back and assist us on site in Hamburg, which was very valuable, of course. This is not something which we have seen from other vendors so far, at least. Another time, we had an issue with our 100D storage system, which needed a capacity upgrade. The successor didn't have a critical encryption feature, which was important to us. But together with the Huawei sales and technical consulting teams, we found a pretty good solution for our encryption requirement. The new solution was based on the Huawei Pacific product and had a better feature set, double storage capacity, and compared to our previous solution, a very competitive price. On top of that, Huawei offered to do most of the migration work for us, so all in all, it was an offer we couldn't refuse. As far as we can see, Huawei takes a full holistic approach of us as a customer. The technical consulting teams, they don't just draft one solution, which we can then choose to buy or not buy. They present us with multiple solutions, and we can then evaluate the pros and cons of those solutions, and that's very important for us in our decision making. The post-sales teams, which I mentioned earlier, are so committed to the mission that they jump in the next train from Berlin to Hamburg to help us. And last but not least, the sales contact, who considers his role more than just selling us one solution and then moving on to the next customer, and then disappearing. Salco is always available for us for any question we might have or bouncing off ideas, so this is something which we really appreciate. Thank you, Salco. No, this is some of the Huawei products we've been using since 2017. So what's next for us at EOS? We live in a world where IT requirements are changing at a fast pace. Most of you can probably relate to that. It's often difficult to keep up. It just, things are moving so fast. For example, today at EOS, public cloud providers are now allowed, and some stakeholders and some teams are moving workload to the public cloud. And who knows, tomorrow they might move back. And as we move from a solely on-premise IT model to a more hybrid model, there are probably bound to be a lot of new challenges which we don't know about yet. And this is why it's more important than ever for us to have a strong partner on our side. And in that context, we're very happy to work together with Huawei in tackling the critical IT issues of the future. When I got invited to speak here at this event, my initial thought was, oh, I really don't know much about our Huawei systems. I don't know many details, actually. After thinking about that, I realized, oh, that's because my data center team are able to solve any operational issue directly with Huawei. So it's very seldom that I need to be involved as an escalation point or something like that. When I'm involved with Huawei, it's to talk about the future, it's to talk about improvement. So for me personally, that's of course a very positive experience. So to wrap everything up, in a few words, we came for the excellent technology and for its cost effectiveness, but we stayed for the customer experience. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time.